Hey everybody, I'm Zach.
And I'm Jesse.
And you're watching Tesla Time News.
Episode 232.
On Now You Know.
We're brought to you, as always, by our amazing Patreon patrons. If we didn't have you guys, there wouldn't be a show this week. There was a leak in the studio. We had to shovel off the snow off the roof. So thank you, patrons, for making all of that worth it, because otherwise, there'd be no show.
And we're sponsored by BigBattery.com with the best battery prices in the USA guaranteed. If you've got something you need to power from homes to cars, RVs to boats, and much more, BigBattery.com has got you covered, offering the newest battery tech. Use the code NowYouKnow to save 5% off your purchase today at BigBattery.com. So it turns out that Tesla's investing in Bitcoin. Elon decided to invest $1.5 billion in Bitcoin, and now they're planning to accept Bitcoin for purchasing Tesla vehicles.
Bitcoin is up a lot this year.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are getting excited about it. A lot of people are investing in it and then telling other people to invest in it. Tesla isn't taking the biggest position on Bitcoin, but
one of the biggest.
$1.5 billion is quite a lot.
And Tesla says we expect to begin accepting Bitcoin as a form of payment for our products in the near future, subject to applicable laws and initially on a limited basis, which may or may not liquidate upon receipt. So a lot of people have been writing to us and saying, Elon shouldn't be doing this because the whole point of making electric cars is to transition to a sustainable future, and Bitcoin is not sustainable. It takes a lot of energy, a lot of computing power to mine the Bitcoin. So we did a little digging. And what did we come up with?
So according to some estimates, Bitcoin uses 120 terawatt hours per year.
See, he shouldn't be doing it.
But by some other estimates, regular old banking uses over 140 terawatt hours per year, because you got to think about it. You got bank branches, you got ATM machines that are on 24/7. You got
bank tellers.
True. We're not even counting that.
You got Brinks trucks.
You got all sorts of stuff. And
you got to make the money, which is like cotton and paper and water. So
now, are those numbers, absolutes? No, I don't know. And obviously, fewer people are using Bitcoin at the moment than, say, the dollar. So maybe right now it doesn't make any sense. And yes, as the popularity of Bitcoin grows, more people are going to buy it. So obviously, Bitcoin isn't perfect, but you do have to weigh everything
I know why
equally.
He did it.
What?
He did it because there's 25,000 new Bitcoin millionaires. And I think Elon is smart. He knows that if you got the Bitcoin sitting in your wallet and there's not too much else you can spend it on, because there's not too many places that accept it, let's be honest. But if you could go online with your Bitcoin and buy a Tesla or two, why wouldn't you?
It's a good point. And by Elon kind of publicizing Bitcoin, gets more people to invest. It makes the people who are already invested richer, and they
pump and dump.
Yeah, they're going to want to spend it somewhere. Where would they want to spend it?
Kristen says, I concur with Kathy Wood. Elon Musk would not flippantly do this. He clearly understands Bitcoin. Least we forget Elon understood its potential back when he was co-founding PayPal. The goals are always the mission. Why Not says, almost forgot he co-founded PayPal. In the context of cryptocurrency, this experience is highly relevant. And Elon said, I know a thing or two about payments. And then Pranay said, Elon worked as an intern at a bank. It was there he realized that banks track money with just numbers in a database. And so he realized that transferring money from one bank to another online should require very little bandwidth and few infrastructure resources. And Elon said,
yep, banks were basically balkanized, heterogeneous databases with high latency and weak security, especially ACH transfers and credit cards.
And balkanized, if you're wondering what that means, is when groups are divided into mutually hostile groups.
Named after the Balkans.
Yes.
Sorry for those of you who live in the Balkans.
And it's a good point. I mean, banks don't like each other. They don't trust each other. And so, yeah. And also, did you know? I mean, all you need is a routing number and a bank account number, and you can pretty much empty someone's bank account.
That's true.
Speaking of money, the U.S. House and Ways Means Committee has reintroduced the Growing Renewable Energy and Efficiency Now Act, also known as the Green Act, or House Bill 848.
Now, if this were passed, it would essentially restart the clock on EV federal tax credits.
Yahoo!
And this would give automakers who already exceeded their cap a fresh $7,000 off a car.
I'm sorry, it's supposed to be $7,500.
It's $500 less.
Wait, but inflation's gone up.
I don't write the rules. This is the bill. This essentially sits on top of the old EV tax credit, which you'd get up to 200,000 cars, and then it would half for 2 quarters, and then it would half again, and then it would go away. Essentially now, instead of having and doing all that stuff, you would get $7,000 off a car up to 600,000 cars.
Per manufacturer?
Per manufacturer.
Oh, wait, so is Tesla already beyond that, though?
Well, I think that everyone who bought a car in the middle doesn't count.
What?
They're not going to get their taxes. I mean, I don't think that they're going to get any tax credits. Because keep in mind, Tesla sold about 500,000 cars last year. Of course, not all of them in United States.
Wait, so you're saying they're going to start the clock again? Like at zero?
At 200,000. So they go to 200,000, and then once they get to 600,000, that's when then it's just over.
No, but I mean, Tesla already got past that. So Tesla's going to start again at 200,000?
I think so.
I'm going to look up the bill right now.
Okay.
2 hours later.
There is no bill right now. It hasn't been introduced yet. I mean, it's been introduced, but they haven't actually published the language.
Right.
I can't look anything up.
So we don't know exactly what's going to happen. I mean, it could be that, everyone who already bought their car and didn't get the full tax credit could, refile their taxes and get the credit. It seems very complicated and silly.
We need to see the language.
Absolutely. Or it could mean that a new Model 3 could sell for $31,990 before state incentives.
That would be awesome.
Now, my other thought is, they bring this back in whatever capacity. This will also apply to GM and other car manufacturers. So this, first of all, would be nice for other car manufacturers because it's a bigger, longer runway for EVs. Let's talk about, for a second, the Chevy Volt.
The Volt with the V?
The Volt with the V. This was a...
They're not making that anymore.
Right. That was a plug-in hybrid. They stopped production February 2019.
Why was that?
Guess what happened the very next month?
Oh, it was March 2019.
And their tax credit halved.
Oh, they did it just because they knew people would want to get the full tax credit.
And basically, they had captured the full tax credit. They didn't think that anyone was going to buy their Volt at $37,000 without the tax credit.
You think they're going to bring it back?
They could. I mean, they still have that factory. I don't know if they have all the tooling and stuff. I'm assuming that you put that stuff in a warehouse in case you ever decide to make more Volts.
It's a small battery.
It's a smaller battery, so they could actually make a lot of them. Now, it's not my favorite EV in the world because it is a plug-in hybrid. It has a gas engine in it, but it does fit a lot of people's needs. I do think that they'd need to work on the price because if they're going to sell it for $37,000, well, I could get a Model 3 for that.
Right.
I don't know. That's interesting.
Now, I couldn't find the text of the bill yet, but I did find that this also has some exciting stuff in it for solar and geothermal. The solar and geothermal energy property tax credit is being extended. You can get a 30% credit through 2025. It then phases down to 26% in 2026, 22% in 2027, and then 10% thereafter. So that's exciting news.
That's awesome. So this is a done deal. I can't wait to get some tax credits on some more vehicles. What's the matter?
It's not a done deal. This is being introduced by 34 co-sponsors. All of them happen to be Democrats, which means that it's probably going to be a very partisan bill, which means it's probably going to come right down to the final votes. And what does that mean if you're a senator and you know that your vote really matters?
That you feel special when you cast your vote?
Maybe. What else?
That you
can hold up the process and get some pork. It's time to load some pork in the back. Let's get some pork in my state.
What are you talking about? What's pork?
You hold things up so that you get what you want in your state. Well, if you want that bill to be signed, then I want some stuff for me.
Oh, so by having this split bill of people who really wanted it.
It's going to suck because all of these senators and representatives are going to try and load up on their own thing. And so here's the thing. This is where you guys come in. You have to contact your representatives and senators. You've got to write them and email them and tweet them and all that stuff, or else they're just not going to put through the bill we want. There's going to be a watered down, I can promise you, it's going to have some weird language in it, except for Teslas, or whatever. They're going to come up with some language that we're not going to like. So keep their feet to the fire.
So we're going to put a link down below in the description that can take you to your representatives and senators. So right down there, and while you're down there, just hit the like button because really would help the show. More people might see it, more people might contact their representatives, and we can hopefully get this bill passed in its current state, which is pretty good.
Yeah. All right. So Elon was back on the Joe Rogan podcast again, and they had a nice 3-hour conversation about all sorts of fun things.
Yeah. And you could only watch the full thing on Spotify.
Yep.
Which is the first time that, at least for Elon on Joe Rogan, that this has happened. And it was pretty interesting.
And it wasn't until after that you told me how to play it at double speed. So thanks a lot. I had to sit there for 3 hours.
Right. It's a long podcast. You can speed it up to 3.5.
That would have been awesome. It would have been under an hour. But I can easily watch Elon at double speed. So That would have been cool.
That would have been great.
All right, so let's just tell you what he talked about. First of all, Elon lobbied for the carbon tax, and I think that that's an important thing to talk about here because that's another thing that while you're on the phone with your representative, you can lobby them for too. He said, I talked to the Biden administration about implementing a carbon tax, and they were like, well, this seems to be too politically difficult. Then Elon went on to say that a strong commitment to the environment was at least half the reason they got elected. But there you go. They just don't think they have the clout to push it through. So let's push it through. And let's just talk about what the carbon tax is. This is something that Elon pushed the Trump administration to do back in 2017. To be clear, a carbon tax is a fee on emitting carbon.
Whoa. Taxes? Whoa, we can't have any more taxes. No, sirree.
We've got taxes on lots of stuff right now.
Like what?
Alcohol,
But I mean, alcohol's bad.
gasoline, cigarettes, property, income, goods.
Right.
Why not carbon? It's the one thing that we know that's causing our entire planet harm.
That's true. I mean,
Boom. That's what you tell your representative. Anyway, that's one of the things he talked about on the show.
And I think that he made a really good bipartisan argument for it. It makes sense, and the Biden administration hasn't done anything about it yet.
He also talked about that there'll be limited Cybertruck production at Giga, Texas by the end of this year, which is something he said before, but it's always good to hear it again.
Mm-hmm.
He said there are no aliens because if there were, he would know about it. I don't know what that means, but that's pretty cool. And you know that got Joe talking about aliens for a while, so that was pretty cool.
Dude.
He said that Bill Gates doesn't know what he's talking about.
Bill Gates has said that an electric semi-truck wouldn't work.
And Elon said he didn't know what he was talking about. Probably somebody told him that, and he is just not that close to the physics of it. I don't think he is ill-intentioned here. I just think he doesn't know what he's talking about. I also heard that at one point he had a large short position on Tesla. I don't know if this is true or not, but it seems weird. People I know who know the situation pretty well, I asked them, are you sure? And they said, yes, he has a huge short position on Tesla. That didn't work out too well.
Yeah, Elon was in pretty good spirits. I think that
Especially after the first drink.
After the first drink, he was able to just kind of smooth out his speech a little bit. I think anyone watching it who's used to watching Joe Rogan, I think he might have come across pretty well, which is always a good thing.
We also got out of this about the semi-truck that the semi's battery pack, the first one, should be 500 kilowatt hours for the 300-mile version. That's interesting because I think a lot of us thought it might be like a megawatt hour or something. So now we've got some numbers to talk about. And of course, we talked about the VTOL electric supersonic jet.
And Elon said, my brain will explode if I do planes. My brain is overloaded. I've got too much stuff on my plate. Only so many hours in the day.
But he did say he's been thinking about it for 13 years.
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe when something gets shifted around a little bit, he'll have some room for it. Who knows? But no, it didn't sound like he's going to work on it anytime soon. It sounds like he wants someone else smart to work on it. And then the biggest thing for us, I think, is that he said that the Roadster is going to fly.
Right. We've heard some tweets about it maybe being able to hover. He said, we are going to throw some rocket technology in that car. I want it to hover. We got to figure out how to make it hover without killing people, though. I thought we could make it hover, but not too high. You make it hover like a meter above the ground or something like that. Something if where you plummet, you blow the suspension, but you're not going to die. Maybe 6 feet. You probably just put a height limit on it. Now, I could maybe see the Roadster hovering, but I was thinking maybe like 6 inches.
That would be safe for you.
6 feet that's high.
You know the function I want is the snow shaking off function, where it just goes...
I want the snow obliteration mode.
Okay.
I want to be able to change a tire while it's hovering. You don't need any jacks.
That would be cool. So you have like 60 seconds.
The good news is it only has one bolt.
Oh, it has one bolt in the middle.
One lug nut, so that's not bad.
And then Elon did reiterate that there should be a thruster out the back where the license plate is, so it should be able to hover and then go forward. He said, you'd go pretty fast, but you're going to be time limited. It's going to use a super high pressure air bottle. The standard version will have a back row with 2 small seats, like child seats in a Porsche or something. Or if you get the SpaceX option package, then in that place where those 2 seats is, a high pressure carbon overwrap pressure vessel, something at around 10,000 PSI and a bunch of thrusters.
Now, what this means is when they launch the next Roadster into space, that one is going to be able to autonomously fly around, which I think is going to be way cooler for Starman to do.
I think you caught on to the whole reason why he's doing this.
That's why it has the yoke.
Yep.
Clear to take off.
Speaking of new stuff, the Model Y could be getting a new console, just like the Model 3. So the Model 3 got the new updated center console last year. It no longer has the glossy piano black finish. It now has that matte finish with faux leather wrap and a sliding door instead of a flipping door.
Now it appears the Model Y is going to get the same new console, even though the Tesla configurator doesn't show the change yet. We heard that a Model Y with VIN number 122778, which was built just a couple days ago on the 9th, has this feature in it.
Yeah, it's a picture right here. So, I mean, it's not clear which one you're going to get if you buy the Model Y right now, but it looks like they're switching over to the new console. Maybe they're using up the old parts. And in China, they're getting some new features. To celebrate the Chinese New Year and the Year of the Ox, Tesla has released the 2021.4.5 over-the-air update that includes a TikTok integration and updates to its QQ Music app, now with better lyric display and new voice commands.
And again, this is really smart. Tesla is appealing to the Chinese market. I mean, this is really smart. Tesla, isn't selling an Americanized product in China. This is a product that really appeals to the Chinese market.
And Tesla released a new video showing off some new stuff. One of the things you're seeing...
Wait, stop, hold up. Look at that. They're going to make an e-bike.
This is about the gateway and the solar.
No.
That's what we're showing right here.
There's an e-bike right in the frame right there.
Oh, I didn't even catch that the first time.
I mean, it looks like a regular bike.
You're saying that's a Tesla branded bike?
I'm not saying anything. But that same white bike was in the back of the Model S in the Model S configurator.
Okay, so what are you talking about?
Okay, Tesla Kila. Does that ring any bells? They had Tesla Kila in a bunch of their marketing and nobody noticed it until it was too late. This means that they're going to make an e-bike.
Really?
You got to trust me, guys. They're going to make an e-bike.
Tell me how you made the connections here.
So we got the e-bike in the thing. Then we have the e-bike in the Model S. Right? Okay. So then also we have the Tesla Kila. Tesla Kila was in all these places. Tesla Kila. Okay. All right. So
all right. I'll buy the bike thing. That could happen. There are some other little hidden gems in here. Going back to what the video is about.
What it's actually about.
The gateway. This is a new product. This is their new solar inverter, plus probably some other brains that lets you connect your whole house on a Tesla system. They don't have to go buying parts from other companies.
So what does the Stargate do again?
It's not the Stargate. It's the gateway.
Oh, I was thinking of Starlink. If you get the Starlink and the gateway, do you have a Stargate?
You might have figured it out.
So, I mean, if you have a Tesla system now, like if you had already had one installed, you don't have this gateway, right?
No, you've got, like a third-party inverter.
But Tesla is still able to interface with your app.
Right. And also, as we're seeing in this video, the app looks like it's about to change. Look at the screen here. Looks like it's a new way to show you basically all the same information that we have now, but in a new app.
And White Hat Hacker Green says, looks like in addition to the car stuff, we have a toy house complete with full Tesla energy configurator, generator, solar panels, Powerwall, gateway, nicely animated, and an industrial installation with Megapack, industrial generator, and industrial solar. So let's talk about the generator for a second.
All right, but this is all just kind of like 3D stuff. It may not have anything to do with usability, just more just looks.
Well, the generator part is the interesting thing to me. I know you might be saying, like, why do I need a gas generator if I have solar panels and batteries? Well, if it's really snowy and all your solar panels are covered, we live up north. We got a generator before solar. And right now, it's just this secondary system. If our battery power runs out, the generator will kick in and we have a secondary backup. But it would be good if these two systems could work together.
Oh, the generator fills up the batteries.
Right. And you might be saying, well, why on earth would you ever want to do that? You could time the generator to run the most efficiently. So you could wait till like the middle of the day when everything's warmed up, and then you turn on the generator and run it at peak efficiency. So instead of just like, you have to run the generator just to keep the refrigerator on, it would be able to run at its peak efficiency, charge up the batteries, turn off, not just run constantly.
For hours, yeah.
Right. Charge those batteries up at a higher rate, then shut off, and the batteries can do the rest from there.
I like it. All right, so Audi e-tron is out with their latest model, the GT.
And GT stands for Gran Turismo. So this is like their fancy schmancy version of the Audi e-tron.
Yeah, in fact, it's kind of built on the Porsche powertrain, it looks like.
So not built on the e-tron. There's no other word. It's just the e-tron.
Right.
e-tron GT, different than the e-tron. Don't be confused.
No, don't be confused at all. Also, there's the GT RS. But let's get into it. Okay. So the starting price for the base model GT is 99,800 euros. Not cheap. Let's look at the stats for it. It's coming to the US this summer. It'll have 470 horsepower or 350 kilowatts, and it weighs about 5,100 pounds. It'll be dual motor, all-wheel drive, 93 kilowatt hour battery, 85 kilowatt hours are usable, 800 volt architecture, charges 100 kilometers in 5 minutes. That's really cool. And Audi said that it had a range of 298 miles or 488 kilometers, WLTP. But in the US, they quote that range way down at 238 miles or 383 kilometers, which is weird. That's not EPA range. That's just what they state.
So, I mean, this is a Porsche Taycan with different, bells and whistles.
Yeah, they claim a 0 to 100 kilometer per hour speed in 4.1 seconds. Now, you can get the RS model, which is a little more expensive. That costs 138,200 euros. That goes 0 to 60 in 3.3 seconds. But yeah, you're basically getting another flavor of Taycan.
So it's good for the Audi guys who, up to this point couldn't get anything that could compete with a Tesla because, the
Still
e-tron
can't really, but the Model S bests it by far, and it's cheaper.
Yeah, pound for pound, but you're forgetting the luxury factor of the Audi experience.
Can you watch movies in the Audi?
That's not luxurious.
Oh, okay.
No, it's all about the leather, you idiot.
Oh, sorry. What do I know? So according to a new 10K SEC filing last week, Tesla's workforce has grown by 47% over the past year.
No way. 47%?
Yeah. At the end of 2019, Tesla reported having 48,016 employees. Now, in its latest 10K, Tesla reports having, get this, 70,757 full-time employees. That's over 22,000 employees added in just over a year.
But stop. That was during 2020.
Yep.
That was during
a pandemic
and massive layoffs. I mean, you must be reading this wrong. They must have decreased by 47% and fired to 22,000 employees.
No, they increased. Ford is cutting 1,400 jobs. GM is cutting 3,700 jobs. Mercedes is cutting 15,000 jobs. BMW cutting 10,000 jobs. And Nissan is cutting 6,400 jobs. But Tesla is adding. And in fact, I'm guessing next year around this time, we might be topping 100,000 employees.
I mean, yeah, if you think about it.
Because, those gigafactories aren't even open yet.
Right. They're not going to run themselves.
Yeah.
Yet.
Well, yet.
So Tesla tested out charging Tesla owners way less money if they charged at night at superchargers last year at certain busy California superchargers.
Now Tesla is expanding this test to Norway and Sweden, giving 50% discounts if owners charge on 3 Saturdays coming up on February 20th, 27th, and March 6th.
Even Senvold Roland, who is a senior communications manager for Tesla in Norway, said, "The test is a part of a larger project that examines how price can be used to encourage our customers to better use the supercharger capacity. Norway and Sweden are the first markets in Europe where such tests are carried out." So the way this works is that Tesla puts out a little bulletin letting you know that certain...
I can charge cheaper now? See ya!
Right. Well, not now. It'll be, at night.
Right.
It's basically to incentivize people to plan on not traveling at certain times and instead travel at times where the superchargers might be underutilized.
Yeah, it's really smart. If it works, if people actually will follow this, which I think most people will. I mean, let's look at Black Friday. I mean, people line up at 3 a.m. to get, $10 off a TV. So I think they'll do this. That means that Tesla will get way more capacity at their superchargers without having to build more stalls.
And speaking of Black Friday, that's roughly around when they're going to want to, incentivize people the most to be like, hey, do all your traveling at night, not when everyone else is trying to supercharge.
Right.
It's pretty smart. I mean, some people could be like, oh, they shouldn't do that. They should just have more chargers. But, Tesla has the most chargers out of anybody.
Should we do a poll?
Yeah.
We should do a poll asking you guys, would you charge if the prices went down?
Yeah, we'll put that up on Patreon. You can go check it out.
Tesla Time News is sponsored by Cybertruck Owners Club. There you'll find a crowdsourced reservation tracker that you can update and find your place in line.
Check out their website for Cybertruck news, discussions, and community for Cybertruck enthusiasts and future owners.
And check out this post that discusses the Wolverine version. So, on Tuesday last week, in Richmond, California, at a Chevron oil refinery, an oil leak was noticed at 3 p.m. And at times, it was pouring 5 gallons per minute into San Francisco Bay.
Around 6 hours later, the all clear was issued by Contra Costa County.
That sheen you're seeing floating over the water is the 600 gallons of oil left behind. And it's funny that Chevron's news website had no mention of it at all.
And I don't know if you could read my T-shirt, but it says...
Whenever there is a huge spill of solar energy, it's just called a nice day.
As beautiful as that sheen is on the surface of San Francisco Bay... Yeah, what if solar did this? What if there's a solar facility?
Oh, it would have been national or international news.
Even if it was like slightly saltier water, people would have been like, did you hear about the spill? Oh my goodness. But it's an oil spill, so you probably didn't even hear about it. This is the first time you're hearing of it.
And the thing is, they put out some little barrier things, right? And then just like, okay, we've stopped the thing.
Right.
What are they cleaning it up? No, it's just that's in the ocean now.
And I also just want to talk about, you have waterfront property, and instead of it being homes that would sell for millions of dollars and bring in all that tax revenue, what do you have? You have an ugly as sin oil refinery just sitting right there on the water. Why? Because, it's easier to bring the ships in. This is insane. Like, when I say we should switch away from oil, people are like, what are you, crazy? I'm like, look at any city on the coast, or actually, look at Gary, Indiana, just vast seas of giant, disgusting-looking tanks that can all spill or explode or catch on fire. All of these different things could go away, and instead we could have wind turbines and solar that we could put somewhere else. It doesn't have to be right at the port. We don't have to, here's the delivery of the electricity from those offshore wind turbines. No, it wouldn't exist.
And during the leak, everyone had to stay away because it's bad for your health. You can't breathe in the fumes.
Right.
So Michael Kelland, an architect from Yarramalong Valley, north of Sydney, is one of the first Australians to sign up for Starlink.
Michael was told that the system will go online in the second half of 2021. In August, a company called TIBRO was granted a carrier license in Australia to have receiving stations in these locations. Turns out that TIBRO is ORBIT backwards, orbit, and has now changed its name to Starlink.
Whoa. So the entire time it was Starlink, they're just playing games. They didn't want people to really know who they were.
Yeah.
That is some funny stuff.
Yeah, and the interesting thing about Starlink is that you might think, they have to launch brand new satellites to cover Australia.
Well, of course they do, because, the ones we're using are the northern ones, and they're down in the southern hemisphere.
And that's not how satellites work.
Really?
Interesting enough. Yeah, you have the Earth, and you can't just launch a satellite and have it sit up there. You can. It's called geosynchronous, but it would have to be at the equator, and it would have to be very, very far away. But if you launch a satellite that's faster than geosynchronous, it's going to go around the Earth.
It gets used by both halves.
And if you want to hit a high latitude, then you have to hit a correspondingly low latitude.
Oh, you get double the work.
So yeah, if we're at 45 degrees north latitude, it means that any satellite that can service us would be able to hit 45 degrees south latitude.
Oh.
Now, they do have to put in ground stations at the moment because they don't have the laser links installed on the particular satellites that they've launched so far.
What do those look like?
The ground stations look like this.
Oh.
And that basically just bounces the internet up to a satellite and back down. But the satellites can't talk to each other to get you a further range.
But they're gonna.
They are going to in the future.
But not yet.
Not yet.
So these are like version 0.9s.
Right. The ones going over the poles right now do have the laser links because you don't have ground stations on the poles.
Gotcha. And I found out that Starlink currently claims 10,000 customers, of which we are one.
Yeah.
All right. Did you get your application in for the Not a Boring Tunnel contest?
No. But I missed the deadline?
You did miss the deadline. Sorry. The Boring Company tweeted out, congrats to the advancing teams in the Not a Boring Tunnel competition. Started with 390 competitors, down to the 12 finalists, a.k.a. the Digging Dozen. And let's see who the finalists are here. We got Biggest Diggus in first place.
Wait, your biggest stickers? Here's of this. Wait! Take him away!
And yeah, look at a bunch of other teams from all over the world.
Okay, wait. So this is a boring tunnel competition. Is this Hyperloop?
No.
This is a different thing than
Hyperloop. Here's
okay.
what you have to do. Teams will compete to bore a 30-meter tunnel with a cross-sectional area of 0.2 square meters, equivalent to a circle with a 0.5-meter diameter. Winning categories will include fastest to complete tunnel, and a driving service. We will drive a Tesla remote-controlled car through the tunnel, and most accurate guidance system. How far away is the tunnel from its target?
Now, forgive me if I'm wrong about this, but isn't a half-meter diameter tunnel only 3 feet in diameter? Isn't that not really wide enough to accommodate most things? Like, what is this competition?
It's just scaled competition. They don't want you to have to go buy a multi-million-dollar digging machine. You just build a scaled version.
So if they're not making the boring machine that the Boring Company is going to use, then why have this competition at all?
Good question, Grasshopper.
Okay,
People. Yeah, it's people that they want.
They're going to eat people?
No, not eat them. They're going to hire them.
Oh,
They're looking for the best minds in digging. How
I
do you
see.
find those people? Well, you could either put out a bunch of want ads, but then you don't know what you're getting. You just take the best.
Right.
They're so smart. They do
Right.
this with all sorts of things.
You're right. I mean, that's why they have the Hyperloop competition.
Mm-hmm.
They're not taking those, Hyperloop pods. They're taking those people. Who
People.
are, okay, right.
That's the limiting factor, is people.
Well, good luck to the teams. I can't wait to see who makes the fastest tunnel.
Good luck, biggest diggest.
And our buddy Jeff Roberts has another update on what's going on at Giga Texas.
Hey, Zach and Jesse, it's Jeff Roberts out here at Giga Texas, and it's time for another update.
What do you get when you put a 6,100-ton gigapress, a Stowtech homogenator, endless electric boxes, and rows of robots together? Giga Texas, of course! Serious hardware has arrived at Giga Texas since our last update, and the surprises keep coming. The mid-structure on the west is connected with the northeast structure, which is now connected to the mid-east structure, which now connects to the south concrete stamping structure. And wow, we are coming up on Berlin like nobody thought was possible. If it seems like a night and day difference since the last update, it is. The crews are working 3 8-hour shifts around the clock to bring you the world's fastest gigafactory. Somebody call Guinness. There's never a slow moment at Giga Texas, as the completion of this gigafactory represents a fundamental advantage in mankind's ability to reduce carbon, produce and consume renewable energy, and reinvent transportation so that we can all look forward to a bright and healthy future.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that Giga Texas update. If you enjoy the content, please be sure to check out my channel at Jeff Roberts. If you like comprehensive coverage of Giga Texas, check out the entire Quad Squad, including Joe Tetmeyer, Randy from Terra Factory, Texas, and Jack from Texas Terra Factory. Thanks for watching, and now you know.
Oh my God, it's almost surpassing Giga Berlin. This is crazy.
Yeah. I know that this might be like the slowest and largest horse race in history between Giga Berlin and Giga Texas, but it's getting pretty exciting.
I mean, they started way later and they're catching up. And I'm not blaming anything to do with the team over in Giga Berlin. I'm sure they're working super fast. I'll bet it's because, regulations and permits and all that stuff. But yeah, wow, this is fun to watch.
Now,
I mean, I thought Shanghai was fast.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm a little worried because those robots, they were yellow. And obviously the blue robots are faster.
So last week, EVgo announced that it will be deploying more than 400 integrated Tesla connectors at existing EVgo stations, with an additional 200 connectors to follow at new stations coming this year in cities like San Francisco, LA, San Diego, Seattle, Denver, Dallas, Austin, Washington, D.C., Salt Lake City, and Miami. Now, my question is, what's an integrated Tesla connector?
So if you go to an EVgo charging station right now, you're going to see the CCS charging adapter,
Which I can't use.
which you can't use, and the Chatamo charging adapter.
Which I can't use unless I have a $600 adapter.
Yes.
So I can't plug in there.
Exactly. So now it sounds like at these 400 stations that there's going to be a Tesla plug.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. It's actually,
We can't use those. Those are not part of our network.
right. It wouldn't be part of the Supercharger network. This would be a separate system. But DC fast chargers for Teslas, yeah.
What took them so long?
What are you talking about?
So I've been trying to think of ways to get more people to charge at our EVgo stations. Any ideas?
I got an idea. I was thinking that we could hire puppies to be at the charging stations.
Put that down. Good idea.
Okay.
Ideas?
Well, who's charging at our charging stations?
Oh, I've got a list here somewhere. Leaf.
Good.
Bolt.
Good.
That's it.
Okay, well, maybe there's other EVs out
Never
there.
heard of another EV.
Well, Tony, what was that EV that you were talking to us about the other day?
You mean the Tesla?
Yeah. Well, what's their Tesla's? What's that all about?
Yeah, they made 500,000 of them last year.
Oh, wow. Well, that sounds like a good market to get into.
So put that down after puppies. Yeah, I see a problem.
Yeah, I feel very bad for the Leaf and Bolt owners who are used to kind of being able to go to those stations, because I want to talk about EVgo. I have my own gripes with EVgo. I have a Leaf. I would use EVgo charging network to get me that extra 50 miles to the, into the city and back out again. And usually only 1 or 2 chargers there.
It's all you need.
And they're usually around 50 kilowatts.
It's all you need.
And if a Tesla's parked there, it's going to be...
Oh.
Yeah, that's going to be like... It's going to be there for about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So that means all the leaf and bolt drivers who are used to being able to get around...
Well, they can go to Tesla charging spots.
No, they can't.
Oh, that's right.
So I'm a little worried about all the other EV drivers out there because they've had it kind of good. It was good to have Tesla have their own system because let me tell you,
They don't play nice.
I'm not saying that Tesla owners are mean. I'm just saying that there is a lot of them,
Right.
and they need to charge their cars. And if there's a charging spot open, they're probably going to take it.
But EVgo is doing a SPAC.
But they don't like specs.
Climate Change Crisis Real Impact One Acquisition Corp, or CLII on the New York Stock Exchange, is the SPAC that's going to bring them onto the market.
It's a cool title.
It's a long title.
Change crisis, real impact.
Cool. Investing in it?
I just because I've had such terrible experiences with EVgo stations, pulling in the Leaf with 8 miles and then having to be like,
Oh, it doesn't work today.
I guess I'll walk home all 80 miles of it. Thanks.
So get this, Jesse. According to the UN, globally, 57.6 million people died in 2018.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. People die.
People do die.
Okay. So what? Okay. It's just kind of a morbid fact.
It is, but keep that number in mind for a second.
Okay.
So a new study out from a collaboration of scientists from Harvard University, University of Birmingham, University of Leicester, and University College of London has found that 1 in 5 of those deaths, or 8.7 million people, died from air pollution caused by the burning of fossil fuels.
So 8.7 million people died
In 1 year.
Okay.
We're not talking greenhouse gases. We're not talking anything else but the air pollution caused by when you burn those fuels.
Now, does this track, like, is there some study that actually shows that the more fossil fuels you burn, the more people die?
Yeah, countries with the most consumption of fossil fuels have the highest death tolls. Yeah, Eloise Murray, a geographer at the University College of London and a study co-author, said, "We were initially very hesitant when we obtained the results because they are astounding. But we are discovering more and more about the impact of this pollution. It's pervasive. The more we look for impacts, the more we find." Now get this. Without fossil fuel emissions, the study found that the average life expectancy would increase by more than a year, and the global economic and health costs would drop by $2.9 trillion.
Trillion with a T.
With the T.
Which is 1,000 billion or a million.
Yeah. Yeah. Even if you're Scrooge McDuck, you got to at least listen to the money part of this equation. But not to mention that, the average life would increase by a year. You'd have a year more to live.
And we're just talking about lifespan. We've talked before about IQ when you're young. The more pollution that you're exposed to when you're a little kid, dumber you are in adult life. Your IQ will be lower the more pollution you're exposed to.
And we're talking about PM 2.5 particles. These are those tiny little particles that get into your bloodstream through your lungs and get into your brain. Boom. Bad.
Yeah. Yikes.
All right. How about a more fun story?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sean Carroll, he's a Rhode Island Tesla owner who cares about the environment. He got the license plate FKGAS. And then the administrator of the Division of Motor Vehicles in Rhode Island decided that the plate was offensive. And under state law in Rhode Island, he denied the vanity plate and demanded the plate be turned in or else have his car registration canceled. So what did Sean do? He decided to go to court. And with the help of the ACLU last week, U.S. District Judge Mary McElroy ruled that the statute was unconstitutional. And so now Sean can keep his plate. Now, the ACLU of Rhode Island cooperating attorney Lyons said yesterday, "We're very happy we were able to obtain a complete victory for Mr. Carroll and for freedom of speech." So I did a little digging. Turns out the DMV in Rhode Island has approved over 41,000 vanity plates in the state, but they denied many others. In fact, there's a list of over 1,000 prohibited plates banning words like chubby and drunk, for example. Although you can have fatty or tipsy on your plate. That seems to be fine. That has all been overturned now. So if you live in Rhode Island, go get any plate you want. Oh, and by the way, if you're wondering what Sean's plate means,
I think we know what it means.
I don't think you do.
I think we do.
When Sean got his Tesla last year, he explained to his daughter that they could charge the car with energy from solar panels on the roof of their home. And she said, "It's like fake gas." So
Wow.
see, you don't always know.
That's very wholesome. I don't know.
Fake gas.
There you go.
You can say it all you want. Fake gas.
Hashtag fake gas. Tesla, let's go.
And if you'd like to share this story with your friends, but you don't want to share the whole show, you can head on over to our Now You Know Clips channel, where we've cut it into a little bite-sized clip that you can share.
And give us like a day to do it, because we spent all of our energy just putting out this show. It's so you could watch it right now.
Oh, and shoveling off the roof.
Yeah.
All right, it's time for Going Green.
And Going Green is brought to you by ecoware.us. If you want to buy the shirts that you are seeing here, you can get a custom one of these shirts. You can put whatever price you bought Tesla at. So here's the cool part. For everything that you order, we carbon offset the manufacturing, the shipping, and the life cycle of that item. So that means the making it, the sending it to you, and you using it and then throwing it away. We carbon offset all of it. And we plant a tree for every order. And we help cap a well for every order, and it helps support this channel. So head on over to ecoware.us and pick up some shirts. We have way more shirts than this. You're probably going to find something that you like if you like watching this channel.
All right, class, please open your textbooks to chapter 12 and recite after me. If you want to have a successful law in America, you must do what? Anyone? Johnny, wake up. Wake up.
12.
No, not 12. Johnny, if you want a successful law, you need to have an acronym.
Right. Acronym. Right.
Like,
Gotcha. Yep.
like if we wanted the law to give a tax incentive for buying an e-bike, we would name the law
E-bike. Everybody buy individual kangaroos. Everybody.
Good effort, Johnny. At least you're awake now. That was close. A better name would be the Electric Bicycle Incentive Kickstart for the Environment Act.
Wait, so there's a tax incentive to buy e-bikes now?
Yeah, isn't that cool? If this bill becomes a law, then yes, you would get a 30% tax credit of up to $1,500 for e-bikes up to $8,000 in price. One credit for every 3 years. Couples filing jointly could get 2 credits every 3 years. Again, if you want this to become a law, because it's only a bill, call your congressman or your senator. Tell them, I like the e-bike act.
So I think that e-bikes need a little bit of a bigger push. I'm not saying that the tax incentive is wrong. I think that they need more publicity, because I don't think that people fully understand what an e-bike means. It means that you can like go for a bike ride, like a typical length bike ride, and then you can keep going and keep going and keep going.
And not come home sweaty if you don't want to.
Right. I mean, we were skeptical about e-bikes until we tried them. And then we were like, oh.
A recent study found that you could replace 47 to 76 car rides with an e-bike. So what does that mean? It means that most of the time that you were like, honey, I gotta go get something, you could hop on your e-bike to get it instead of getting your big clunker car.
And yeah, with the e-bike, it means that you can load it up with some stuff and you don't have to worry about like pedaling it all home. I really encourage anyone who hasn't tried an e-bike yet, go like rent one and try it out.
And if you have questions about which one, we've reviewed so many and we're reviewing even more. We've got a whole review channel that you can check out here where we've reviewed a whole ton of different e-bikes from all different price ranges. All right, it's time for Into the Future. So Germany has announced that it's introducing a federal driverless vehicle law. The Bundesregierung website states, with this law, Germany is the first country in the world to allow driverless vehicles in regular operation and in the entire national area of application. The aim of this regulatory framework is the rapid establishment of innovative technology, functions, and services in Germany. The regulatory framework thus offers Germany the opportunity to advance research and development and to make future mobility more versatile, safer, more environmentally friendly, and more user-oriented.
Now, what do they mean with the first in the world? I mean, don't we have driverless cars in America?
Yeah, but we don't have a federal law that covers the entire country. We have individual states with individual laws. So you can't like drive across the country now. Even though there are some states with driverless laws, you couldn't like crisscross the country. Whereas if Germany does this, that means that you'd be able to drive all over Germany.
But I mean, we're always talking about how, the European Union is always so strict about, regulations, and they're always, hampering down innovation and stuff like that. What's this coming from?
My guess is it's coming from Herbert Diess. My guess is that he has said to the politicians in Germany, look, if we're going to ever catch up with Tesla, they've got so much data. The only way we're going to get data is if we can drive around some autonomous cars. And we can't do that now in Europe. So we're stuck.
This kind of shows to me that at least one German auto manufacturer, and I would guess that it would be VW, is pushing the lawmakers to do that. Now, when it comes down to when they actually write the law
and pass it,
I don't know how that's going to work. So I don't know. It's definitely something we got to keep our eyes on.
Exactly. All right, it's time for Sunspots.
So Electrify America just opened 30 free solar and battery-powered chargers across California.
That's awesome.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's an interesting product.
You don't sound like super stoked. They're solar-powered chargers. What's the downside?
Well, I mean, the upside is that they're very easy to deploy. Basically, you just drop them off in a parking spot. They provide shade to the car that it's charging.
Wait, I'm sorry. How do you just drop them off in a parking spot?
It's battery powered. It's got the solar over the
there's
shade.
no like wires. It's all wired up.
You just drop it off. And yeah, it doesn't need any permits. It doesn't need any electrical work. There's no trenching that you need to do. There's no utility bill. And you could move them after the fact if you like moved, parking lots or businesses or something like that.
Yeah. Why are you not more excited, dude?
The one thing that I'm worried about is that they can only provide up to about 265 miles of EV range per day. And I'm just worried that that's not enough.
Well, I mean, okay, so these are level 2, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm assuming these are more for like employees who work at a company?
Well, these are part of the Electrify America charging network, but I don't know in what capacity.
Oh, because I was kind of thinking these would work really well for a company and their employees, because like the employees would be there for 8 hours, and if you get like 15 miles per hour, so I mean, you're getting like 120 miles a day. That's great. I mean, like you can park 2 cars at each charger.
Right. No, I mean, I think that it's a great product. I'm just a little bit worried that it might not work in the Electrify America network. I mean, the product is amazing, right?
Yeah.
You have, it doesn't matter where you put these things as long as the sun comes up. Mm-hmm. You're able to charge electric cars.
I mean, what I really like to hear here, no permits.
Yeah, that's really
that usually
nice.
slows you down like 6 months to a year.
Right. And you could move them. So if it's like...
Also, no construction.
Right. And no trenching, no, having to call the utility, have them be like, oh, we're going to need to run a whole other line out to the building. None of that.
I think the best part I forgot to mention, it's free energy from the sun.
Exactly. No electrical bill that you have to be like, okay, so Todd, how much do you charge? Okay, good. So we're going to bill you $50. You should drive more efficiently. Okay, Sarah. Okay, good job, Sarah. Only 30, none of that. It's all free energy.
It's a good
from the
perk
sun.
for your employees.
I totally think that that's fantastic. I mean, and Electrify America needs to spend money.
Yeah.
Because they had to spend a certain amount of money in a certain amount of time.
Right.
So I'm glad that they're helping a company like this. I'm curious as to what the price tag is. But if Electrify America is covering the bill, who cares?
Hey, and if you want to get some solar for your roof because you're like, this is free energy from the sun, then the team at Energy Pal are your solar and battery experts that help homeowners go solar for less. We've got a link down below. They're going to help you out. Just tell them that Zach and Jesse sent you. And the best part is, it's free for you. All right, it's time for our video contributor stories. Who do we got this week?
We've got Bill, and Bill's got Starlink. He's going to show us how to set it up.
If you're like me and you geek out over all things SpaceX and Tesla, then like me, the day that Starlink.com went live, you ran to the nearest web browser and signed up for their mailing list. Well, guess what? It came this week. When I checked my email and saw this, and I said, here we go. So first, I went and cleared it with my CFO, i.e. my wife, and made sure that we had money in the budget for it. It's not an insignificant cost to get set up even for the beta. You have to spend $499 on the Starlink Dishy McFlat face for setting up your Starlink connection. With no further ado, I'll take you through the first step. Find a good place to install your Starlink dish. They made that about as easy as they possibly could have. They came out with an app, and then you use the camera on your phone. You basically hold the phone flat in your hand, point it up at the sky, assuming you're using the front-facing camera, and then you look down at the display, and if there's any shading around the edges, then that's telling you that you have some sort of obstruction.
There's not much documentation that comes in the box. Basically, this quick start that shows you point the dish at the sky, plug in the cables, and fire up the app. That's pretty much all there is to it. Unless you've bought the roof mount, you'll use the tripod that comes with the kit. It has holes in at the ends of each of the arms so that you could stake it into the ground, but now that the ground's frozen, that's not going to happen. So I'm just going to weight it down with some bricks. The documentation refers to this as Dishy McFlatface, and it really is. The face of it is completely flat. Dishy McFlatface will turn his face to the sky, scanning for the nearest Starlink satellite.
That's all it takes to set up your Starlink Better Than Nothing beta kit and get online. If you were wondering how hard it would be to bring up your Starlink network connection, now you know.
I'm so glad he showed us how to set it up. We can now go set up our Starlink. See ya!
And he actually made a much longer video, which you can go watch. We'll put the link down in the description below.
Yeah.
Really helpful if you needed to set up your Starlink.
Yeah.
Although it's fairly self-explanatory, but
yeah,
great to get Bill's look at it. And I'm so excited to set up ours.
I know.
Since we shoveled off the roof.
It's where it's going.
Space is all set.
All right, it's time for our Patreon bonus stories. If you head on over to patreon.com/nowyouknow, you can support us for as little as $1 a month, and you get to watch all of our bonus stories, along with plenty of other cool perks. All right, we're back from the Patreon bonus stories, and it's time for the shout-outs. Who do we got this week, Jess?
Konstantin Severi.
Stefan Van Eckeren.
Norman and Dorothy.
Richard Laxton.
Michael Brown.
John Israelson.
Charles Stephen DeMonico.
Michael Davis.
Daniel Radix.
Michael McEachern.
Clifford Baker.
Christian Buckner.
Benny Anderson.
Christian Thompson.
Lewis Orchard.
Magnus Brandt Moeller.
Matthew James Drennan.
David Schult.
Mark Henry.
And Leo Williams.
Thank you so much for supporting us. We can't do this show without you.
All right, buckle up. It's time for the Elon tweets of the week. So John Carmack said he wasn't sure what's going on with this $100 million carbon prize. And Elon said,
lowest cost per ton of carbon sequestered net of value of any product made must be scalable to gigaton level, aiming for maximum usefulness.
All right, so go make the thing and get the prize. Elon said SpaceX needs to pass through a deep chasm of negative cash flow over the next year or so to make Starlink financially viable. Every new satellite constellation in history has gone bankrupt. We hope to be the first that does not. He went on to say Starlink is a staggeringly difficult technical and economic endeavor. However, if we don't fail, the cost to end users will improve every year. Zach said, will Starlink IPO soon? Would love to invest.
Elon said, once we can predict cash flow reasonably well, Starlink will IPO. Ooh.
And Alex said, is it reasonable to say that those who order Starlink are funding the endeavor of making life multiplanetary to protect the light of consciousness, Elon?
And Elon said, yes.
So we're helping that?
Wow. I just thought I wanted fast internet.
Elon retweeted SpaceX's tweet that said NASA has selected Falcon Heavy to launch the first 2 elements of the Lunar Gateway together on one mission. Good job, SpaceX.
Yeah.
And then Free Wallet tweeted out, Doge doesn't stop. We agree 100% with Elon and his Elon Doge. And Elon said,
your app sucks.
So be careful what you tweeted him.
Woo!
And then Elon said, any crypto wallet that won't give you your private keys should be avoided at all costs. Hi, Elon. The app is online. Integrations to buy, exchange, and merchant tools are working. Support is available 24/7. It's nice you tried us out of all crypto services. Anything we can help you with, let us know.
Elon said, please unlock my account. And then he said, thanks for fixing. So I guess they unlocked his account.
Well, they got 50% more signups in one day just because he tweeted that. Even though he said it sucked.
Because he said, your app sucks. And people were like,
I'm going to check this out.
I mean, if Elon says that it sucks, it must be good.
Then Elon said, bought some Dogecoin for Lil X so he can be a toddler hodler. And there he is.
Wow, the toddler hodler himself.
You got some Dogecoin, boy.
Mr. X-Man.
Viv said, Elon is free to tweet about and discuss whatever he likes. Tweets also don't necessarily represent real-world allocation of his time to projects and ideas, so him tweeting about crypto a lot doesn't translate to him spending an excessive amount of time on it in general.
And Elon said, indeed, tweets definitely do not represent real-world time allocation.
And Owen Sparks said, besides, we want you to be yourself on Twitter, not some corporate boring account.
Elon said, haha, thanks, which I agree with Owen Sparks. Absolutely.
Kunal said Elon may end up running 4+ $500 billion companies simultaneously at a relatively young age. What I want to really understand, how does he do it? How does he manage context switching? How does he design his org? So many questions. Answer if you see this, Dark Lord.
Elon said, I'm an alien.
And then Elon said, Kremlin, Russia, would you like to join me for a conversation on Clubhouse? And then he reprinted it in Russian, and we're going to talk about that on the Patreon bonus story.
Yeah.
All right, we had a Patreon poll. What did we ask?
We asked, is that the bike? is Tesla's going to make a bike? Ah!
All right, what did they say?
So 80 people said, heck yeah, mass production of Tesla bikes will be soon. Most people thought that they're going to be doing something like Tesla Kilo. So limited supply and a very high price. So they're going to make like a limited supply.
Oh, like they did with the surfboard.
They did that with this. Oh, right.
Remember the surfboard?
The surfboard, the shorts.
Yep.
The Boring Company flamethrower, the Boring Company hat.
Yep.
They do these things where they make a limited number.
Yep.
What if it's a cast bike? Completely cast aluminum with the Giga press.
Oh.
One piece? I mean, it's definitely not.
Maybe with 4680 cells.
Oh, look at the tube. Look at the tube.
4680 cells.
Look at that tube. It's 4680. And the second answer actually was that they're not going to make an e-bike. 59 people said that they're on the fence, and 32 people said, I don't care.
All right, it's time for community mail time.
Community mail time.
All right, the East Bay Tesla Owners Club and Fred sent us this video of them hanging out in the East Bay with their Teslas. Pretty cool. And then Doug wrote to us to tell us that his Tesla Model Y was in a photo shoot at the Miami Crypto Experience. Why, you may ask? Because Lambos are being replaced by Teslas as the cool crypto cars.
Which goes right back into our argument about the crypto millionaires wanting to buy the Model S Plaid Plus. I mean, that's the car to buy.
It's the crypto car, man.
Buy it with crypto. I mean, perfect.
And then Ramon's dog Elon in his Model 3 Performance. Ramon says, my boy Elon, when he hears me call, now you know time.
Aww.
And then Winifred sent us these photos of three-wheelers being used in Hamburg, Germany to deliver, I think, the mail.
Cool looking.
Yeah. Funky. Like 50s meets the future or something. Yeah. And then we hope everyone had a happy Valentine's Day, and our friends over at Today's Auto Collision had something you don't see every day.
Wow.
I don't think I've ever seen 4 red Teslas of each model.
Yeah.
I think what happened was Bobby was like, you know what? We got a lot of red paint. Let's just paint them all red.
Paint the town red. I mean, they did look really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, it's time for our Supercharger reviews. These are sponsored by our friends at Evannex, the Tesla community's accessory store. If you're looking for awesome accessories for your Tesla, check out Evannex and use our discount code nowyouknow to save you $10 on purchases over $100.
Hi, Zach and Jesse. We're at the brand new Hagerstown version 3 Supercharger off of Downsville Road, and it's very close to the intersection of I-70 and I-81. The exit over there, you come right down the exit and you see the Supercharger sitting on the back side of the sheets. So it's an 8-stall charger with 2 pull-ins, and it's doing really well here for us. It has refreshments, sandwiches, drinks, all those things you need, open 24 hours. What more could you want? Now you know.
Hi, Zach and Jesse. Welcome to Košice, Slovakia. Behind me you can see the new version 3 Supercharger. It has 4 stalls available and 4 more can be added later. This Supercharger is also ready for version 4 upgrade once Tesla announces it. As you can see, there is also another fast charging possibility from eJoin with CCS and CHAdeMO plugs and 3 more connectors for AC destination charging. You just need to register on their site and then use the PIN to start the session. Close by is also Atrium Optima Mall, open daily from 9 AM to 9 PM. There are all types of shopping possibilities as you would expect from a mall of this size. Of course you can get something to eat too, like pizza, burgers, kebab and even Subway or McDonald's. Should you need to sleep over, there is also Košice Hotel 300 meters away on foot. Prices start from €80 for night. I would rate this Supercharger 9 out of 10, as it is close to highway, as you can see by my drone shots, and it has really good amenities close by. Now you know.
Zach and Jesse, this is Brian. I'm here in Cedar City, Utah, and this is the brand new 4-stall Supercharger at the Cedar Band Travel Plaza. This is my brand new Model Y, dual motor, love it. This is a truck stop, Sinclair. It's got the usual convenience store things. Let's see, this supercharger speed is not that great. It's 56 kilowatts, and you can see that there's 4 stalls, and it looks like it's a pop-up. These would be really easy to install. They must be on a pallet, and they just plunk them down, ground them, and run some conduits. You can see that the conduits go to like a little electrical station, and then the wires just connect right up to a utility pole. Keep up the good work, and now you know.
Hey, Zach and Jesse, Simon and Jane in our beautiful Tesla 3 at the Macadamia Castle near Byron Bay in northern New South Wales in Queensland, near Queensland. Beautiful day, we're very close to the beach. Life is all good. The Macadamia Castle is spectacular. Thanks so much for everything you guys do, and like they say, now you know.
So just so you know, those are people who watch this show just like you. They went out to a supercharger or a destination charger, filmed a review of it. They sent it in over at nowyouknowchannel.com/supercharger reviews. You can upload your own, and you can watch all the supercharger reviews on Earth using a map of the Earth to find all the superchargers.
Yeah, it's really cool. When you're going on a trip, you can see like, hey, we're going to that supercharger. What's going to be there?
And we got new superchargers this week, just skating in right under the wire.
Yeah, we got 2.
The 8-stall 250 kilowatt in Craig, Colorado.
And number 976 in the USA, number 2410 in the world is the 8-stall 250 kilowatt in Woodcliff Lake, New Jersey, just north of the city of New York. All right, it's time for our Patreon giveaway. We are giving away a t-shirt from EcoWare, or I think you can choose a hat. I don't know, you can choose whatever you want, I think. We're giving this away, and to get in this big barrel of fun, you have to be a patron. And the more you support us, the more you get in the bucket.
And the winner is Robert Hammond.
Congratulations, Robert. You're going to get a free EcoWare thing of your choice, whatever thing that may be.
And
because, everything on that site is carbon offset. And we just planted over 500 trees the other day. Felt really good. I got to pick all the places in the world, and I was like, I'll put a few in India, and I'll put a few over here in Kenya,
right,
and I'll put a few here in Brazil.
So we're spreading them out.
Just spreading them out.
Nice. That's so nice. And a big thank you to everyone who's ordered from ecoware.us. Go head over there. Free shipping. Lots of really great designs that we...
And the money, Bobby and I own the company, and it helps support Now You Know. So, like, when you buy a shirt, not only is it carbon offset and all that good stuff, not only do we have recycled shirts on there and organic cotton t-shirts and stuff like that, but you're helping support the show. And you get these conversations started. When someone reads your shirt and they're like, what is that about an oil spill? No, it's not an oil spill. It's a solar spill.
Right. Just a nice day, jerk.
Or, what do you mean you bought TSLA? What is that?
Right. The people who know what you're talking about are going to go like,
you bought it at what price?
You bought it at what? Or not. But I mean, yeah. There's, Nicola or something.
Yeah, I put NKLA on there if you want.
A lot of the shirt designs we come up with ourselves.
Yeah.
And we say, Bobby, go make that shirt. And
sometimes
goes, I'm on it.
Sometimes you guys come up with them.
Exactly. So head on over there.
In fact, this one was from a viewer.
Yeah. So head on over to ecoware.us. Go check them out. It's really great stuff.
Send us your shirt ideas. Also, send us pictures of you wearing your cool EcoWare stuff. We'd love to see them. We'll put them on the show.
It's 2020 and 2021 are tough years to have.
Yeah, we got to do something to get through them.
Conversations. So send in your pictures. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching the show. We're going to see you next week.
Now you know.